The time is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's a Tuesday. My name is Kingsley. We are WEFM 99.9. We are located at the Windy Point, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Welcome to you wherever you are. Welcome to you wherever WEFM is being held. Welcome to Interactive Morning Show taking place right here. It's the 7th of the 2nd, 2023. It's a very special day in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Last Tuesday, I did a program where I was expressing my opinion on the issue of crime and my position on persons who are responsible to deal with the issue of crime. And you know, the Commissioner of Police is Mr. Colin John, and he is a lawyer by profession, and his Deputy Commissioner is Frankie Joseph, who is a criminologist by profession. So that tells you that when the Prime Minister said that he's looking for quality personnel to be Commissioner of Police, I think he find two fine gentlemen in terms of their professionalism. But the issue of crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been a challenge since we know ourselves. But all of a sudden, the homicide rate last year, 2022, was approximately 42 homicides in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's, in my opinion, it's frightening. And the persons who have the responsibility to deal with the issue of crime is the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of National Security. He's the one who should put the policy together, pass it on to the Permanent Secretary. She will get the policy on to the Commissioner, and the Commissioner will integrate the policies and pass what he's expected to do by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines police folks. And we hope that the Police Commissioner Colin John has a corporate plan to deal with the issue of crime. And when I finished my conclusion, I came to a position that I use one word to describe my position as a Vincentian to what I'm seeing done by Colin John as disappointing. But I was fortunate on Wednesday where the commissioner was booming elsewhere, and I got to listen to him. And after listening to him, I'm still no better off on the issue of what sort of plans he has to deal with the issue of fighting criminal activities and the issue of crime, especially homicides. You may say, but it's difficult for the Commissioner of Police to anticipate that a person is concentrating on killing another. I agree with you. I agree with you that will really need an especially gifted person to know how another individual is planning to deal with the issue of killing somebody else. But as Minister of Finance said, that we have more boots on the ground. Well, I hope that the boots on the ground are trained. And what is important, is it effective policing or effective policing? What would you like to see coming from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Service? Effective policing or effective policing? Okay, so those are questions you have to ask yourself. The security situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with other criminal activities is not in a frightening position. But what jumps out at us is when we hear a Vincentian or a non-national loss of life or another with some stupid confrontation, and that sends a negative impact across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And remember, we are now making a rebound after the 3 years impact we had with the issue of COVID-19, dengue fever, loss of fare, and the tourism industry is showing some bright spots. And we hope that persons are listening and persons realize that fighting crime is up to all of us, and we don't want to hear any crime. But somebody will say, but Kingsley, there will always be crime. Yes, there will always be crime. Okay? And we're hoping that the level of crime that we see will continue to decrease. But the issue of homicide will always jump out at us. When we have lots of crucial that is coming this year, we understand the season is going relatively well, and it's good to see that Vincent is making an effort to have some levels of discipline across St. Vincent and Grenada. I saw quite a few, I want to say quite a few, lots of people walking in Kingston on Friday from the cruise ship. It's good to see that. So far, we haven't heard any stupidness from persons who try to snatch a bag or start a train. So the message is getting out that all of us have to play an important role in making sure that the issue of crime is minimal. Okay? But you listen and you will hear the Prime Minister spoke about the issue of crime and he said he's going to deal with causes and toughen the crime. He went to Parliament and he enacted legislation via a bill and he said if you are caught and convicted by a court with a gun, you should get a sentence of 7 years and $20,000, or you can just be fined. Okay? Do deterrence prevent crime? Of course, deterrence prevent crime. And you may ask, Kingsley, what is the deterrence to do with prevention? Anybody who involved in criminal activities and crime don't want to be caught. You'd be surprised that that's the only deterrent to them. They have criminology in them. They want to go involved in criminal activities, but they always plan not to be caught. Most of the time, they are being caught on circumstantial evidence. And when they go to court, the court don't operate like that. The court operate on convincing evidence, and most of the time, the accused is acquitted because there's not significant evidence for a conviction. But you have to ask yourself this question. Somebody caught with a sizable amount of cocaine. Let's use the word sizable amount of cocaine. Admitted that they had the cocaine in their possession. And they go to court and plead guilty. First thing you have to ask yourself, they plead guilty, so they will get 1/3 of the prescribed sentence by law for them. Okay? So they ain't give the court no problem. They say that you accuse me of having a sizable amount of cocaine in my possession. I plead guilty, and the sentence that I should get must have been 20 years. But because you didn't give the court no trouble, you get 2 years and 10 months. For a sizable amount of cocaine, when you think cocaine, what comes to your mind? Addiction, increase of criminal activities, because when the people who usually can't get it, they break your place and come inside it. But the issue of the conviction is took place in that matter. But are you concerned about the sentencing where the person only got 2 years and 10 months for a sizable amount of cocaine? Does that sound right? Somebody who is legally trained, listen, they say, well, you just see the person plead guilty, show themselves at the most of the court, so the court is merciful, and the magistrate and the judge could use section 120 of the criminal code and reduce his sentences to how he or she sees fit based on the attitude of the accused person in the court. Well, that might be so. But does that send a good message? Does that send a good message that somebody caught with a sizable amount of cocaine and they only get 2 years and 10 months? And 2 years and 10 months in prison is about prison is 9 months for a year. And it's really funny. It's really funny to see what's taking place after so much work. Have to go into that, but it is what it is. Then we hear about the issue of an appeal. People have 14 days after the magistrate or judge find them guilty. There are 14 calendar days they could suggest that they could notify the magistrate immediately that they're planning to appeal the conviction, not necessarily sentencing. And then that takes some time before. I know it's up people outside today, over a year, because they were convicted for doing something and they appeal the sentence and the court see fit to release them, but the paperwork is taking so long. I see the guy up there yesterday, so wow, you did something good for yourself when you appeal sentences, because he's out there having fun here and everywhere. And I am really disappointed in the issue of the method used by the commissioner. I don't know how and what he should do. Last week we had a very good discussion. I did not recognize the voice of the person who came in and made a contribution that created a bit of interest. But I hope that person are listening and are in a position to deal with the issue of fighting criminal activities, because not everybody you see walking around there outside is a criminal, because they're probably involved in criminal activities, but they are not convicted, so you can refer to them as a criminal. So you have to understand that criminal activity is taking place every single day. You live in a particular neck, you see somebody walking around, you're scooping out the area because they want to come back and break into your house. They might do that and they're not caught, and you can't go and point your fingers at them because they're just involved in the activities and they are not convicted. And I just said to you all, if you listen, the biggest deterrent for persons involved in criminology is they don't want, are afraid not to be caught. So always back in their minds that they're planning a way to get in and they're also planning the best way to get out, because they don't want to be caught at all. And it's like that is what is creating the problem. And we need to see more effective police in intimidation and grenades. You may say, but you asked earlier, what about effective? I know I want to see more effective police. Come, Gonzalez, so we want police on the ground and we will do much more. But how effective these police officers? Generally, every day, lots of infringements are committed by drivers. They are summary offenses because traffic related matters are not criminal matters. The only traffic infringement that you could be charged criminally for, to the best of my knowledge, if the police find you park your vehicle on a sidewalk, you could be charged criminally. But most of the offense related to traffic are summary offense. They don't carry a jail sentence. There's a monetary fine that they can do. But every day in St. Vincent, and I listen to traffic talk in the mornings, and they need to elaborate a little bit more. I noticed that the minivans are playing the music as loud as possible. They put back on these big horns, the annoying horns on them. And when you're approaching a minivan, you have to pay close attention to the driver and the conductor. One stay in the van and one driving the van. And the one who drive the van most of the time is the conductor who wants to tell you, let him in, this and that. And we would like to hear what persons think. So send your thoughts at 45-799-94, or you can give us a call at 457-99-97. Let me say a special good morning to former manager of Vinlec. Yeah, I know that you're one of my ardent listeners. I'm referring to Tony Myers. I hope that you are listening. And I was just paid attention to the voice in my head. And let me say good morning to Mr. Lanford Weeks, the most impartial commentator on radio. I did make the proposal to Susan and the program coordinator will get back to you when the time is right on our proposal. We need to get the best voice and great minds on radio to deal with the issue of the crime in Vincent. So let's hear from you. You can send your voice note. We have voice note. We are trying to listen to them to see if they're while being played on air, because what is said, when it's said, cannot be taken back at the same time. So we'll be making sure any of them okay, let's go.
Kingsley, good morning. What are your take about the nurse lady who get caught with 60 pounds of kilo of cocaine and get only 2 years, 10 months? And another guy who get caught, I think about 60 kilo, 6 kilo, 6 kilo, and about 4 months short of 12 years, I think, in jail. And the girl who get caught with 60 get only 2 years, 10 months. Why is that? I would like to hear your take on that, please.
Well, I hope you all listened. I made my presentation on that issue, and I didn't identify the gender of the person, but you did. And as Drew said, me, the caller could, I don't have to follow that thread. But here what happened. I am also concerned, like you, that somebody is caught with a sizable amount of cocaine and only get 2 years, 7 months. But like I said, you don't know what take place inside the court. She may throw herself at the most of the court, admit that the position, and the sitting judge and magistrate decide, well, I will use the criminal code and give you only 2 years and 10 months. So, on the other hand, the other person who caught with a less amount might have gone to the court and integrate the system and eventually found guilty, and the magistrate decide to do what he or she thinks is right in punishing the person. Because remember, when you go to court, you're expected to be punished. You either go to prison or you pay a sizable amount of money. Well, you have the right to appeal the conviction by the sitting magistrate or the judge if that take place within a time period of 14 days. So I am also confused like you, but we don't know the fine-tuned details of what took place in court, so we have to just admit it for what it was. I'm not encouraging persons to go out and because of the sizable amount of cocaine and hope that they will reduce the same sentence to them. So it depends on the circumstances that is prevailed when the magistrate is being hearing the matter. Okay? So that's my response to my friend over the river in terms of your response to your voice note. Okay. Right. So send your thoughts 4579994, or you can give us a call at 4579997 and the issue of where you see the issue of crime fighting, if effective policing is being done, the commissioner is doing what is expected of him, because he's a highly trained person. And I believe when it's suggested to the governor, we would like to have Colin John as the commissioner, he expects that Mr. John will put all the crime fighting method in place to deal with the issue of crime and criminal activity. But like I said last week, and I still maintain that I'm expecting much more, but presently I'm a bit disappointed in his method and his ways in trying to deal with the issue of crime. I noticed that he went on a walk in the Rose Place area. There's always this theory that Rose Place and Parks Lot is the areas where most of the criminal activity is taking place. Is that really true? Or they will take a ride up Fountainville Road and go along in Glen? Okay? Lots of places in St. Louis and the Grenades has frightening situations taking place. But we need to see a little bit more emphasis and from an effective standpoint to deal with the issue of crime. I used to look at Kingston a few years ago. Every block you go between Cape Wireless now flow to the post office, we sit our call. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Morning, sir.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Peters.
Oh, yeah, man. In relation to that matter with the girl who got 2 years.
Yes.
No, the matter is taken before the court, right? The court hear the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And once he convict the post, then the matter lies in her, the matter lies in her way to pass a punishment or sentence.
Yes.
But you know, the magistrate has a privilege. She could decide you want to give her 10 years, I want to give her 2 months.
Yeah, once she's guided by the laws, right?
Right, what's it in the law? So
yes.
I don't really, people should have a problem with that because that's the magistrate privilege which she has.
Yeah, under section 120, she has that privilege.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, we can't question that. Can't question what she do, what punishment.
Right. That is why I didn't reach it, because I know the matter is not subjudicate, right? It is already passed, but you could still be fined for questioning a magistrate. So I don't want to be charged with contempt. That is why I didn't detail. But I agree with you from your experience that while we may have some concern, it is not within the right to question the magistrate's sentencing because she has that privilege. Okay, so I agree with you. Yes.
So everything all right, you know, otherwise
Everything all right, Mr. Officer. Yes.
take care of yourself and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling. Well, we listened to what that gentleman just said. He saw with the police force for quite some time, so he really knew that I was on to something good when I said that the magistrate had some level of privilege when it comes to sentencing. That is why people who appeal, most of the time they might not appeal the conviction of the charge. They might appeal the sentencing if they think that the sentence is too harsh. So she has to remind herself that there is laws where she can give up to a certain, like for instance, if you charge for possession of gun, you can get 7 years or fine 20,000, and you could be still given 7 years and 20,000. If she exceeds that, you have a good grounds for appeal. So that is why, and I think that Mr. Peters was sharing his experience, and experiences is what is guiding people when they're making comments and commentary on things that are taking place in this and the grading. But it's something that we have to consider. If we are not satisfied, I wouldn't want to be like my neighbor who always call and question the legal and judicial services, because when things didn't go his way, and I refer to Dougie Freight as my cousin, I always say, and he was making some questions about his concern about the legal and judicial services in this and the grannies. And you will hear people always come here, there, and everywhere and try to question the function of the DPP. The DPP is not any ordinary person, it's a highly trained person. She have to have put a lot of thoughts and experience in when she's considering what charge should I be. Because they generally comes with a good feeling that people think that police is the one who normally charge, Okay, for instance, if you're charged indictable, the matter had to be investigated, the fines go to the DPP, and he or she will determine if this person could be charged for causing actual body harm. Okay? Is that the police does that, okay? You may say, well, I go to the police station already and see people get charged and instantly. You may think it's instantly, but experience is what drives people sometimes, and the DPP, and she is in a particular position. And let me tell you something, how I found out the importance of the DPP is when Connor Williams and Roger Gaspar was a gentleman from Trinidad, when surveying to beach, now this is made that's a nice comment, but I realize how powerful the DPP is. He's a gatekeeper, And they bring in something called the name of a car. It was pronounced as Fiat. The DPP has the ability to discontinue. That's why they used to refer to Conor Williams and Mr. Nolly Process. Remember that word? That word came out big when a politician was accused of misbehaving in public office and civil grains, and people think that the gatekeeper was trained an avenue for the person to be acquitted. That is not true. The evidence has to be convincing on paper, and whenever you present that evidence to the magistrate or judge, you have to be even more convincing to get a conviction. And I think court is just, somebody's accused and he or she must go to court and just plead guilty. Most of the time, somebody's accused of infringing on the law in civil and grannies. When they go to the court, they are admitting guilt. They should allow the court to prove them guilty. You don't have to go to court and prove you're innocent, Like I said something last week. If you are a driver and you happen to get in an accident, you do not have to give a police officer investigating the accident any statement. You seem to have a call. Good morning.
Good morning, Kingsley. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah, a very good topic this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking about crime. Now, Kingsley, I think the criminal, what do you call it, crime thing in St. Vincent is a national concern, like how you mentioned.
Crime all over the national concern.
Right. And I agree with you. Let me go as far as 200% that the amount of criminal activities going on, especially homicide, is really alarming.
Yes.
It's really alarming, and something needs to be done.
Yes.
And everything there. But Kingsley, I'm calling Anna said, like, I'm a ex-police,
Yes.
and it is very, very difficult to control crime. You mentioned a word this morning, which is very vital, and the word is deterrent. Do you know that in my days growing up, as a youngster, if we assemble somewhere, even assemble somewhere and we feel that we should assemble and we see a police, hello, we gone. And if anybody try to do something and they see a police and no police is around, they gone. It's not so nowadays.
Yes.
Do you remember a prominent lawyer who shot at a certain individual right in front of barracks in broad daylight?
Yes, I remember that.
So where is the deterrent? Where is the deterrent?
Like I said to you earlier, the only deterrent the persons involved in criminal activity and crime thing is they don't want to be caught. Otherwise than that, they think they are big and mighty when it comes to the issue of criminal activity.
Exactly, Kingsley. You hit the hammer.
Yes.
Exactly. There is no other deterrent.
No other deterrent.
Because, I mean, fellas like to do their thing and they don't want to be caught. And but that ain't prevent, what I'm saying, that ain't prevent them from doing what they want to do, you know?
No, I know.
And it is very, very difficult. I work in various departments in the police, which including CID.
Yes.
And I know how difficult it is to deter or even stop a man from committing crime.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
One of the definitions for police is the prevention of crime.
Yeah.
But we can't wait until it happens to say, well, we're going to lock up Kingsley do something, so we're going to lock up when we know and got the information Kingsley is about to do something and we allow him to finish, and as soon as he finish, we put our hand in his waist and say you lock up.
Yes.
He can't work that way.
Yes.
Look, another thing I want to say. I am living in the Calaqua Police District, and there is a group of men usually be assembled right in front of the station over the park where they had a little shed there. I think somebody used to be there selling liquor and what's that. I don't know if they have a license, but that's not my concern.
Yes.
But what I'm telling you, Kingsley, if you hear the amount of bad word, you know, let me say word, no word, bad word, loud as ever, and you have to tell me police over there and then I hear it.
No, I agree with you. Let me tell you something. So much suspect activity, let me use the word properly. Suspect activities take place right around that little area opposite the Calaqua police station.
Exactly.
And I often wonder if the police, they don't pay any attention to what taking place. Let me talk. People park illegally. I see a man light up a spliff it big like me head the other morning. Right in front of the police station, you know. I see these people to be crazy.
Kingsley watch. I am not beating up on the police. You feel like you as soon as you say something and people quick to jump on you and say, oh, Kingsley, you beating up on this, you beating up. It's not a beating up. It's not a matter of beating up. It's a matter of, telling the public, even bring it forward even to the public know already.
No, but as an ex-police officer, you know the police need information, and regards to how they get the information, if they pay attention and somebody call, they should tap into the information. So if we are here as we're doing this morning, the police should pay attention and to see if they pick up anything that they could get some sort of evidence to deal with. A man smoking a big weed in front of the Calaqua police station. People park there anyhow they feel like. And you tell me they made notice in that?
Between the bridge and Miss Tony, supermarket.
Yes.
It's a terrible place to pass when you're driving.
Yes.
It's a terrible place to pass. Then van stop in front of the supermarket again, half the van in the road, all them kind of things.
And the traffic department just painting some new signs there and people still ignoring the signs,
And not the right wing ignoring the signs because they're not enforced.
Yes.
It doesn't make no sense to paint a sign they're not enforcing. Somebody should be, should get locked up. Somebody should pay for it. Look, I used to work at Calico Police Station. I worked there with Big Right and
No, you come from the old school. You come from Flower.
yeah,
Them
Big
fellas
Right and Dillis,
Yes.
Dillis Peters. Remember Dillis Peters?
Of
God
course.
bless
Of
us all.
course. Yes.
I worked there, and when as a NCO, when I worked there, I used to come out when nothing to be done inside the station. I used to come out and stand up, put on the cap, and stand up in front of the station. There.
Yes. Let the
And
president be fair.
You know,
Yes.
and think, but Kingsley, you're doing a good job here, and you just go ahead.
Yes,
No matter with people calling and talking, nothing. You understand?
Yes,
No matter with that.
Yes,
And I
thank
do
you.
hope the authorities listening.
Yes.
I do hope the authorities listening and take what you say into consideration, because I mean it's getting worse,
It's getting worse
It's getting
every day.
real worse.
I pass there every day, so I must know what you're talking about. Yes. Thank
Man,
you.
you're telling me.
Yes. Thank you for calling, brother. Yes.
Yeah, man. Tell you have a good day, Kingsley.
Yes, man. Well,
All right.
you heard from an experienced police officer, and he mentioned police officer in the past. So I know, of course, I know Mr. Wendell, right? She call him Big, right? Of course, I know Aldrich Williams. Of course, I know Elvis Brown Bagger from Billy. Of course, I know Mr. Peters, who are excellent police officers who did really good job. Some of the police officers today, if they only used to know how important discipline is to be a better police officer. You have some WhatsApp you want to read it, brother? Okay, and here what happened? It's 25 minutes to 9 o'clock. I'm going to take a break and we do some shopping and we come right back.
It's not just a new year, it's a you year. It's time to put yourself first and build a strong financial foundation. And that's where we can help. At Sagicor, we have the experience, expertise, and extensive proven financial solutions to help put your goals in the spotlight. Whether you want to protect yourself from the unexpected or set a financial plan for the long-awaited, we are here for you. Visit sagicor.com to get started. You deserve it.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
WEFM reminds and encourages the general public and users of the Kittles Beach to keep it clean at all times. Discard of all garbage properly. It is illegal to remove the sand from the beach. Let us keep the Kittles Beach and other beaches across St. Vincent and the Grenadines clean so that you and I can enjoy it and marine life can survive. This is a message from WEFM 99.9, the clean, fresh sound.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean Islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack, Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
WEFM 99.9.
22 minutes on to 9 o'clock in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You listen to WEFM 99.9. It's the Tuesday edition of Activities Morning. My name is Kingsley. I'm here to take care of you until 9:45. Yeah, what's up there? Yeah.
Good morning. The police alone can't fight crime. Society have a part to play. In every community, the people living in them know who are the thieves gunmen, drug dealers, and drug users. Some people in society support these people's habits. So call on society to do their part too.
Well, I agree with that person who's saying WhatsApp. Of course, there are persons in today's society know who are the thieves, the perpetrators of criminal activities, the drug dealers, and things. But here what happened? I have noticed in St. and Grenades, if somebody is hustling in terms of selling marijuana or cocaine, society come and call them boss. Morning, boss. Boss, you want me to do something for you? There's a level of respect they hand out to persons who perpetrating they're hustling around themselves. Me ain't encouraging nobody to call no cocaine dealer and people who doing merchandising with drugs as boss. We tell you something. You might not believe, but cocaine and hard drugs is responsible, is the chief ingredient for so much of the criminal activities that are taking place in St. Vincent. And when one person said on WhatsApp this morning, and he asked, what is my position on the issue of persons who are involved and convicted for a sizable amount of cocaine? Well, the first thing that's coming in mind is that person really the right person? But she's caught red-handedly in the cookie jar, so she have to take the blame. But cocaine is not an ordinary thing, you know. It's a big thing, you know. To get it here is a challenging effort. And it's something you often wonder if it's in small rats. Well, when we were really younger, we used to call the rats and rodents, right? I actually hear a sizable police said recently there are rats, rodents here down by the back dog squad. I said, wait. This is what the commissioner is saying? And he have his lawyer who always accuse the police of not presenting the evidence in court. It only happen, rat eat out the evidence. So the person who is accused is acquitted. I mean, come on. Really? That taking place in certain grannies. So when sometimes you see a man driving wrong in his big SUV, and you say, well, how are you getting rich? Well, use your imagination, yeah? You don't have to say it here, use your imagination. What are some of these people doing to become so rich? And then when they reach a certain level, they say, you must refer to me as boss. Call me boss when you see me, okay? And if you try to get close to them and they think that you're infringing and they're right, they let go some of them chihuahua upon you. You know what I mean? Chihuahua as dog and chihuahua. There are some people they wrong them. They do anything for a fits. Yeah. And that is why today's society, so the last person said WhatsApp say, of course today's society could help to deal with the issue of criminality in terms of crime and cocaine. But here what happened? I can remember when I used to work taxi at the E.T. Joshua Airport. They say some breeds came in on the Union Island. I don't know if it's breeds or some reasonable breeds. But me and another taxi driver was sitting together. And a police officer came and was trying to get some information. And we know him. Today I see him driving a taxi. I don't want to be associated with him as a taxi driver anymore. You know what I mean? And we give him some information based on what he said to me, Kingsley, your father have a son in Union Island? I said, no. It's when he don't go and realize that he was referring to the next taxi driver who had a son is working in Union Island. And you know what happened? You know, man, go back and tell the person that me and this particular driver giving me information. So I contacted the then commissioner of police, who was from my area. Yeah, they tell the company, you know, but you know, he tell me, do you know the officer name? So I said, I don't know his name, but I could identify him to a thief. If a blindfold, I can identify him. You know what he tell me? He can't do no proper investigation because I don't know the accused police. But one day, I was making some extreme views some places, and he was on the panel, and he was speaking about how police sitting good at that. And I recognized his voice, and I said, wow. And I called and I remind him of the lack of confidentiality I see from him. That was the end of the program. because he don't want to admit that he did something wrong. He used to be walking in a particular area. The person in the area came to me and asked me if I could give them my story. I think they disposed of him because they realized that no, this is not what we expect of you. Confidentiality in the Royal Civil and Grenadier Police Force must be something that Vincent can expect. You call to report a suspect area. Don't tell me, give me a number, you send by the part. Just deal with the issue. You are highly trained to deal with information. Take a bit of the information and see if you could tap into the suspect area or the suspect person. But when I have to give you a detail here, why I'm calling, the number I'm calling from, who live next, what color house I live, what color the fast about it, it's really frustrating. So I don't know how people deal with this. You have a WhatsApp, my brother? Let's go.
Kingsley, the police force is lacking gathering intelligence. People are willing to give information, but the police are always asking who is speaking.
Yes.
And if you tell them they are using the transport to come by your house.
Can you imagine that? I did not tell you, I was home the other night, looking through my door, where the today's caught, and you could see them with their cameras. So I called the police at a particular station. He said, Kingsley, we could come in about being on the police, they could come pick you up. I said, but Jesus, we hear you. To expose myself. Like for instance, I was standing in a particular area yesterday, and I didn't know who the person was standing against me. When the person moved, a gentleman came over. He said, you know that person? I said, no. He gave me a detail. If I see that guy again, I run in. Bad company. But I was ignorant of the fact that I didn't know who he was. So we were having a discussion. But when he left, the information I got from the person who was paying attention to me, he said, boy, you lucky you end up in a pass by shooting. Me said, what happened? So he tell me, shit man, that guy is bad news. So anytime I see me even want a job for him to talk to you, brother, because people could think I involved in any hanky panky with them. And I tell you, he was in a company of a young lady, and I asked the young lady, I said, that's your child, that's your boyfriend? He said, he's my child father. I asked her twice. I said, well, not even you want to be speaking to him. So I agree that today's society need to see the police force demonstrate some level of confidence. And when you get information from the general public, deal with the information and forget about who giving you the information. That is why you are trained. That is why you are trained to go on suspicious activities. You know what I mean? People believe that policing is not a walk in the park. A police officer should be a very intelligent person. And my favorite department in the police force is the criminal investigation department. They have to be highly trained. They have to be highly read. They have to be observed. Because you taking a statement from somebody who come to accuse another person. You have to look at the person to see if you see anything different that you could take it and say, he don't know that you're doing that, you know. But if you're highly trained, you have to be a very observant police officer. The thing what a CID officer will notice, a regular uniform police officer was assigned to each department, we'll just let that slide. But I would like to see a little bit more detail going into every department. I hear the Prime Minister complain several times. And I guess when he go into the countryside, he see people park their vehicle, they went on the highway, they went to the international airport. Anyhow, and there's a police officers going home, going to duty, we see that vehicle there and say, oh, that is for the traffic department. And it is really unfair that while the traffic department have a particular assignment to make sure the regulation are abide by motorists, general policing should do that too. And this is what we have in this breakdown. It have its vehicle. I complained to Sergeant Jones from the Royal Civil Grange Police Force assigned to the traffic department in Stubbs. And you know what can I understand? Michael Charles, the former commissioner of police, had a vehicle, 371. It is now owned by a fellow Crichton in Georgetown. This man always parking the vehicle on the sidewalk in Calicut. And one day I said, right here, that there's a vehicle once owned, let me repeat that, once owned by the former Commissioner Michael Charles, parked on the sidewalk. Somebody called management and telemanagement, I must stop infringe on the former Commissioner of Police. That wasn't, I was just trying to point to the police who had the vehicle, so when they get that information, they would know how to get close to the person. People must listen what you say and don't repeat what you didn't say. And that is what is taking place, that is wrong in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm in a particular place in Annisvale, the entrance to the old airport. I see a guy sitting there, well-known guy. You know, he telling somebody else, what's supposed to do? He know every student who's coming to that particular area to get illegal substances. I said, look at that. And I just listen to him. Police officers be there every day and they don't pay attention to those simple things. You know. I listen to him telling an next pusher, that person coming in, that person want that, that person want that. Look at that. He know every individual person who passed at a particular time. And I often wonder why close to 6 o'clock, 4 hours go up and the 3 go sleep at night. You make the link? It's between 6 and 7 places get dark, you find them going to that particular area. You know the police do? I see the police every day. I see the rapid response unit every day. But they need to do a little more fine-tuning and detailing and they will catch all the culprit. And it is really troubling to see today's society allowing drug dealers to infiltrate their mind. They will give you the China white as it is commonly known, and when you hook at it, they give you a whole heap of baking soda to block up your nostril. And then when they pass you, you hear people calling them boss. Morning, boss. Big up yourself, boss. And boss destroying you and your children. But he and his family living in luxury. But for how long? That's only for time, eh? Because if you're in a wrong sentence and you're going, you will know all those persons who once was up there today, where they are today. So what old people say? Time longer than twine. Today's society needs to be more responsible in dealing with the issue of persons involved in crime and criminal activities. And rebuke your children or your grandchildren. Let me tell you something, you know. I grew up in an area called Fountain and Village. When I go through there, I'm like a king. I don't know if my name is Kingsley. But I am a nonsense guy. You don't stand nonsense. If I know that you're dealing with sort of thing, I have no use for you. Don't care what you say you change. Because once a dog sucking egg, it's always sucking the egg. I stay far from those people completely. I acknowledge if I pass and I see you, but I don't want a glass of water by your business place. Because old people say, you're known by the company that you keep. And the orange don't fall far from the tree. And I don't want to be associated with those kind of people that destroying the fabric of today's society. Young people, I sure the who listening could identify a young man. It's about a guy who can't look at it. When he sees his car come, he speed. He walking up, man walking fast on a vehicle to reach cross by a bayside. Before you get to the station, you make a left and go down there. Where do you think you're going from? Food? Come on, man. I go down to Kanashia night. I see a security trying to run a man. What do you think man there? Up in the coconut tree, trying to teach some coconut to go sell to supply his bad habit. And if the police come and police rough him up, oh, it's police brutality. So you must ask him, what you do, and how you doing before me agree with the Prime Minister. Really be attitude after you don't do you have to do, man. You understand? Too much slackness taking place in this country. Sizable amount of cocaine. And as Mr. Peters said, we're not questioning the sentencing because the laws and the criminal code provide for the city magistrate to take all the facts presented by her on that particular day before she imposed a sentencing. But does that sentencing she imposed reflect the punishment that he should get, he or she should get? It's troubling to see what's taking place in today's society. So when we come here to critique make an assessment of what's taking place is not to criticize the Commissioner of Police as Mr. Colin John. It's to criticize to see if he can use our criticism to be more effective in getting things done to deal with criminology and persons who involved in crime. And like I say, the only deterrent that turn off persons who involved in criminal activities and crime, they don't want to be caught. Nothing else coming to their mind, you know. They don't want to be caught. And if you could find methods to deal with the issue of catching them, then you will have persons thinking twice if the police is effective in getting the boots on the ground to deal with persons who involved in it. But sending somebody to prison, I spoke to a guy come out of prison, and every time he don't mark his seat where he's going back next time. So he ain't rehabilitated at all. So if you walk up to him and you do something, in his back of his mind, he don't know the system, so he don't consider to send him back prison. And we shouldn't allow that to take place into the society. We should point out the ills. So the persons who are appointed to the offices of commissioners and acting commissioners and persons who should make, like, I know a particular police officer, but it's called him Grandpa, my name is the right name. He's one of the most unique police officers from where I'm sitting in doing his job. He comes to the International Airport occasionally, and he comes there and he makes observation. His airport is not his base, but he knows the airport is a fragile place. Let me tell you how this thing is operate. People that say, oh, you need young people to be employed because all one are expiring in terms of the age and things. They just take on some new employees at the airport. They grill them for a whole month. They took them to training. But you know, some of them say young people can fall through the crack. You know why? These vagabonds and persons out there who deal with trafficking of cocaine and drugs is going to approach them because they will see new fragile people. You might have 10 persons, one is going to take the bait. And that is going to create a system where you have to spend more money to get training done. Because that's how they operate, you know. They come and they look at the employee and say, this person looks fragile. You may see this person, and then you tap into the person, and they tell the person, well, if you could do this to me, I give you that as much more money I just make when you whole year done. Just one you need to tap into. So you see the authorities have to be very mindful of who they employ. I want to hear they ask you about your family background and where you live in. Don't be offended, you know, man. They have to do all this check. It's an airport you walk in, you know. Any walking by any port of entry, and you have to have 99.9 accuracy in terms of information before you possibly claim and become an employee of that area. You know. It's a people who just come by the airport. Oh, they give you all kind of drinks and things. Oh, I'm going now. Hello, you want to carry this package back to me? Hello, you know the biggest mistake you can make in it. People just come and just sit around and see if you could pick up fragile people to do things that they shouldn't do. And because they might offer you a little petty change and things, you say, I will carry it, you get locked up. Nobody should carry nothing for nobody when they come to the airport. Take no chance at all. Whether it's St. Vincent Grenades or other airports in the world, take no chances. People just set out to do bad things. And when you get caught, like I said, the only deterrence for crime and criminality is when you get caught. You could go call Mr. Big's name or Mr. Small. He's the one there to do that. They put your family at risk. So why are you compromising yourself for instant gratification? I am at the airport, I see a girl. She as pretty as it could come. I said, wow, look at that. I said, look at how she's pretty. I even get carried away just admire this view from a distance. But you know, a culprit did it. And she called the culprit and telling the culprit, well, I reached back safe and she even know the culprit in the car park watching she. Oh, take a taxi and go where you're going. But he just come to make sure. You know what she went for? Collect some monies for him. She got a little treat on out in his pocket. And she said, well, all is well. She think, well, she can try it again. I had a friend, but I consider my friend, but no her mother, came up to me and tell me, Kingsley, I had to go to the Barbados right now, but I didn't have enough money to pay for the airline's ticket. Hear me? You better catch a van and go back home and forget what you're going to do here. Because it's not me alone seeing you. Because the authorities aren't doing it. And they just be so stupid, they figure people ain't paying attention, you know. He got a guy out to work at airport, me even call his name. He the sit you all. I'll tell you how he got the train. You come to the airport with a big brown envelope in your hand, say you're going by embassy. People stop going by embassy with them kind of big thing. They come back, this is scary. Oh, I'm going by the embassy. And you go at the first flight in the morning and by 1 o'clock you're back down. Of course. You don't think you could be a suspect? You might do it one time and you get through. But the same policeman who to see through, he to see all them things. And people have to understand, why the criminals is always ahead with the criminal activities and try to get posts into the fold. If a police is highly trained, like the one in the airport is highly trained, you may get through one time. He might see and just ignore you to encourage you, and you come again and you try it, and he just watch you. And the third time, when you think, well, all is well, boom, he catch you. Yeah, the actor said, wait, how do he catch me? You think he even catching you all the time? He's been watching you, you move all the time. 1 minute before 9 o'clock, we're going to take a break, deal with the issue of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and last night, Saturday night, 3D result. So let's go.
9 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At this time, we take a look at the bank rates, and that's coming to you with the kind compliments of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, helping wealth increase, starting small, building the future, doing more every day, doing more together. BOSVG, the bank we count on, BOSVG. Our one bank together, we're strong. Our nation's bank, standing long and proud. One bank, one voice, sing it loud. BOSVG. Hey, building our future. BOSVG. Doing more together.
BOSVG, doing more together.
And welcome back to the bank rates, coming to you with the kind compliments of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The following are today's indicative rates in Eastern Caribbean dollars for key international and regional currencies. These rates will not apply to commercial banks transactions with the public. The Barbados dollar, 1.35, the Canadian dollar, 2.01, the Switzerland Swiss franc, 2.91, the euro, 2.89, the United Kingdom pound sterling, 3.24, the United States dollar, 2.70, and the Ghana dollar, 0.01333. Those are your bank rates for today, which came to you with the kind compliments of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, helping wealth increase, starting small, building the future, doing more every day, doing more together. BOSVG, the bank we count on. BOSVG, our one bank together, we're strong. Our nation's bank, standing long and proud. One bank, one voice, sing it loud. BOSVG. Hey, building our future. Doing more together. together.
3 minutes gone past 9 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At this time, we take a look at the lottery results, and that's coming to you with the kind compliments of the National Lotteries Authority.
On Tuesday, February 7th, there'll be thousands of dollars to be won. A lotto jackpot of $218,000. A new home, car, or that college education.
Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Next lotto jackpot, $218,000.
And welcome back to the lottery results, coming to you with the kind compliments of the National Lotteries Authority. The results for the nightly 3D draw for Monday, February 6, 2023, draw number 1 to 914 as follows. The Big D, 854. The Big D, 854. Mid D, 313. Mid D, 313. And Little D, 662. Little D, 662. The next draw is slated for today, midday Tuesday, February 7, 2023. And the results for the nightly Play 4 draw for Monday, February 6, 2023, draw number 3994 is as follows. Play 4, 6711. That's 6711. The next draw is slated for midday today, Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. And those are the lottery results which came to you with the kind compliments of the National Lotteries Authority.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game, more money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
$230,000. That's the Super 6 jackpot for midday, Wednesday, February 8th. It's $230,000.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game, more money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
WEFM reminds and encourages the general public and users of the Kittles Beach to keep it clean at all times. Discard of all garbage properly. It is illegal to remove the sand from the beach. Let us keep the Kittles Beach and other beaches across St. Vincent and the Grenadines clean so that you and I can enjoy it and marine life can survive. This is a message from WEFM 99.9, the clean, fresh sound.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interbrand Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Love is in the air. Whether you're single or taken, treat yourself.
Or your special someone to a night filled with love,
music,
and romance.
Get your tickets now for Shatam. Love in person on February 11 at 8 p.m. The Loveview Boutique Hotel and Beach Club will come alive with live music from Walt Carter,
Jem,
Leah Barnaby,
Genevieve McMaster,
Jabez Matthews,
Jolicia Pope,
Avani Richards,
Kyoka Crookshank Jack,
and the reunion of SVG's #1 love band, Stash. Single tickets are $65, while couple tickets are $120.
Don't miss the chance to experience an unforgettable evening of love, laughter, great music, and many giveaways.
Limited tickets are available, so get yours today at Courier City Store,
Super Health Pharmacy,
and for All Fashion at Joshua Center.
Happy Valentine's from Walt Carter Music.
Part proceeds from this event will go to Our Lady of Guadalupe Home for Girls.
How we live? Hybrid life, living on the hybrid life. What you feeling? Hybrid life, every living on the hybrid life. End up on time, we know watch phone bill. That's with the contract is a sure thing. How with the new floor plan name? Hybrid. If you don't know about it, then they better slide it. How we live? Hybrid life, living on the hybrid life. What you feeling? Hybrid life, every living on the hybrid life. Jump in on the hybrid life, living on the hybrid life.
postpaid and prepaid come together as one with no overages, no contract, no deposit, and no catch. Hybrid! Bundle up now and get 50 gigabytes of data and 2,000 anywhere minutes for only $55 per month, plus a discounted smartphone.
You see the new phone plan that Flow made? You could turn postpaid to prepaid.
WEFM 99.9.
The time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is 8 minutes 30 seconds after 9. It's a Tuesday edition of the morning show taking place right here. And we are WEFM located at Winnie Point, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My name is Kingsley. Let me say special good morning to Janet Matthews. Janet Matthews, good morning to you. Mr. Mason in Liu, Mrs. Honest Brong in Belair. Good morning to Gloria, Mrs. Freddie Valentine in Villa. Morning, Edson Crick. It's good to know that you listen. Mr. and Mrs. Darby in the Fountain Villa Road and Mr. and Mrs. Lucas. They don't come to work until I leave here at 9:45. Okay, so they listen to the program right through. Good to know that you listen. If it's the 7th of February, 2023, and if today is your birth date, I don't think it's your birthday. It's a date. It's remind you when you were born. Have a wonderful celebration on your birth date, wherever you are. You happen to be born on a special month between a legend. Remember, Honorable Nestor Marley was born on the 6th of February, probably 78 years ago. So if you're having a birthday today, happy birthday to you, and hope that you having a wonderful day so far. And those of you who intend to send somebody a birthday gift, make it very good. Let me say good morning to Mr. Ford. Is Mr. Ford and Mr. Horn in Barbados? And Anita is good to know that you're listening and you're keeping quiet. Is that a deliberate ploy? Hope that you're listening and you're doing relatively well. Somebody said today's your birthday, Anita. Is that true? Today's your birthday? Yeah. Don't forget this evening from 6 until 7, Joel Jack coming with his scriptural source. He's also alongside Mr. Dunbar, and I'm encouraging you to listen. And after that, it will be the feedback program sponsored by Basil's Bar from 8 until 10 p.m. So that's the package we offer you tonight, whenever those other regular programs are finished. So let's jump into something, because people don't want to comment on the issue of crime. They think that, oh, well, you're making a whole heap of noise about nothing to complain about. So what if we had some killings and so last year? Yeah, you have a call? Yes, we have a call. Good morning.
Comment.
Yes.
You have a call and we will take the comment.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Defenders.
Morning, Mom.
Boy, your program was wonderful today.
Yes, Mom.
You need $1 million for that. You do.
$1 million to go suit the fine girl.
Well, they will share it away.
Yes.
Wonderful program.
Yes.
You know, a lot of we should learn from it.
Well,
even the police.
That's our intention here, to make sure the information is accurate, so people would confine and pay attention, okay? Because
that's right.
One caller last week say I must do my research before I make my commentary. So I took his advice, because he's a neighbor of mine own, and he's a highly read person, highly trained person. So I take his advice. Yes.
I mean, I appreciate them for what they're doing.
Yes.
They're really trying.
Yes.
And they did well the other day, but they need to do more.
Yeah, but you could speak from experience. You have an excellent son as a police officer too.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I saw him yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
He was sent out away and he came back.
Yes.
Yes, man.
Yeah, Miss Brown.
He's manly and well put together.
But of course, there's a total package of you and me, your husband. The man is a well-disciplined man. Yes.
Yes, man. I have 2 boys and I was very serious with him.
Yes. I meet one in Josh the other day.
Well, he know. He come Christmas, he look for me, he say, Mom, are they out so now?
Yeah, see him out there a couple of days ago.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But if I say like dog, you walk. You know how much grandchildren a man doesn't give me?
One is a doctor,
a girl, the first girl for him. She study in Utah.
Yes, yes.
And my husband sent her to study, and
Yes, yes.
he's a doctor now.
Yes.
And he have a big son.
Yes, you're very proud of your offspring and them, eh?
And then he got one in Beverly too.
Yes.
She 8.
Yes.
I said, look at her.
Yes.
Yeah, honey, I love my family.
Yes, Miss
I
Brown.
believe in that for sure.
Yes, yes, yes.
And Kingsley, keep on doing the good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't make nobody discourage you.
No, you know what
You're
I mean.
here for a purpose.
I saw your friend yesterday. Curtis King.
You see him? Oh, he reached back.
Yeah, he reached back. I saw him yesterday. I said, how you doing, brother? He said you okay? Yeah.
Well, of course, that's how he is.
Yeah,
He has a very good heart, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Grew up in church.
He had a supposed to avoid me, but never mind that. He acknowledged my presence. Yeah.
Don't worry with them.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, if we learn what is going on in the world with everything,
Yes.
we're going on, Kingsley. I never see them in my whole life.
Yeah, and you know
Growing
what?
up, as I say, I did Fred the black and white.
Yeah,
I hear the man telling you on the radio. They used to run.
Yes.
But when I was growing up, if I see the black and white, I don't know Papa go hide myself.
Yes. You know what I saw yesterday to Miss Brown, the chief education officer, you know, she's from our area. She married
Oh
to
yes.
Gaffney
Oh yes.
Jack, yes. I saw
You
her
mean
yesterday.
Kay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says
Wonderful child.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget my people, you know what I mean?
Yes, you have to.
Yes.
And they make us proud.
Definitely.
We watch them grow up. I mean, I watch you too.
Yes.
You was a young man.
Yes.
Young boy. Oh, I can remember when you first get that white sports car with taxi. Hear me, my God, what do you refer to the young boy this year?
Yeah.
Is that truck then?
Yes, yes.
That car parked by you. If you see children, big people, everybody was in the car.
Yes, yeah. With a top class car, yes.
Yes, I know you from a baby.
Yes.
When I say baby, a young man growing up.
Yes, ma'am.
In belief.
Yes. All
Because I
right.
came in, he's very young too.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, honey, but God bless you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need shaking up.
Yeah,
And
thank
this
you.
is a good part that we shake up.
Yes. Thank
Yes,
you.
I mean the police been the jam. Without them, we don't.
Yeah.
We can't do without them.
They're important.
And they should know that we love them.
Okay. All
And we
right.
appreciate them and must do the right thing.
Right. Well, thank you for calling, Mrs. Brown. Have a
Yes,
great day.
darling. You take good care of yourself, eh?
Yes. Okay.
The one love.
Yes. You have another call?
Also have a special guest.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
The voice sounds familiar.
It does. Somebody give me a message to give you. You ready for the message?
No.
Happy birthday to you.
Christal, you're being naughty this morning. You're being naughty. You know that I am not that kind of person. So I tell you what it is. Anyhow, thank you anyhow on behalf of the messenger. The messenger is who, you? You the messenger?
Yeah, I'm the messenger. I mean, come on, man. You announced it. You announced it. Was it last week? You say week before?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to tell you happy birthday. Come on. All right.
At least you pay attention, so that's good.
Oh, at least I'm paying attention. So who is not paying attention?
Well, you didn't.
I wonder.
My sister might say she sent a message this morning, but I acknowledge my sister sent happy birthday to me. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So how you doing, Christal?
I'm okay for the time.
Yeah,
I'm okay for the time being. Thanks.
I actually miss you because I prefer to sit next to a woman and not a man.
Actually miss me, or you miss a woman being next to you?
No, I miss you. You was who spent time with me if you choose a woman. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't worry. Friday coming and I'm still here.
I miss those beautiful hands you have there.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I hear you talking about crime. I hear you talking about airport. I hear you talking about woman. So, which one are you continuing with?
I can't hear anyone you choose to speak about. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
No, the floor is mine now.
Yeah?
I'm following you, man. I'm following you.
Well, when you call you in charge. Oh, Lord. Just always good to know you're following, and it's important to know that the relationship is paying attention to WEFM, and you take some time to acknowledge. But I actually miss you because when I didn't hear you, somebody called me that me if you're 6. I said, how would I know me live next to Christal? When I go down and find out. Yeah. That's it? You dropped out?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm dropping out every now and then.
No,
Rain must be coming somewhere.
no, you're coming fluency across. But Christal, the issue of crime, I had to deal with it this morning because I was fortunate to listen to the response by the Commissioner of Police elsewhere, and I still maintain my position, but I'm not satisfied with the findings that I'm getting from effective policing in Sylvester and Grading. So that is why I led to the issue of crime this morning and how we could point persons to, and like the last caller say, if the authorities are listening, they will realize that there's need for somebody to pay attention to these radio stations to see how they could improve the PR segment. And one thing that jumped out this morning is the issue of the way that persons information are received by the Maroy Sylvester and Grading police. So when they take time off the call and give information or tell about suspect activities that are taking place, they think that the police need to improve in that level of policing in Sylvester and Grading. Generally,
the confidentiality.
Confidentiality is a big thing because, when you hear these people involved in, you could imagine this case where somebody was caught with a sizable amount of cocaine and only given 2 years and 10 months. And I don't know if that is the right person we should be tapping into. She probably get caught with possession, but and you notice that they withdraw the charge of trafficking. So I don't know if that was intentional or they think, well, okay, we have a conviction on you, and that's it. We show you an opinion, deal with it. But we need to find out who was involved and where this cocaine is normally coming from. A poor, I describe that woman as a poor woman. I don't think she's extremely rich, but she's involved in something according to the court that she shouldn't have get involved with, and she was given 2 years and 10 months. So if the court think that is enough for terms of sentencing, we will not question the issue of sentencing, but like I said earlier this morning, the deterrent for people involved in criminal activities, they don't want to be caught. It's not ever considered that she might be caught with this sizable amount of cocaine in her possession, or it's really frightening to see what taking place. Yes.
But I mean, I think from what I've been reading and seeing, people are questioning the sentencing, not the process of sentencing, but how many years she managed to get, and when you compare it to other cases from before. But you could always come in at this point and say, okay, that there's a process, there are sentencing guidelines, you look at the particular case, it's specific. Is it the first time she's getting in trouble? Is it a repeat offense? What are the things that were said in court that would mitigate or aggravate? This one here, I feel like I don't even know what to say about it, but it's something that will make you just wonder and think.
Yeah, because it's a sizable amount of cocaine she was caught with. Hey, that's a lot of cocaine. I agree with you that the processing of the magistrate and when the evidence is presented may respond for the leaning, seeing the sentencing, but is that sending a good message out there? I don't know if that's sending a message at all. Yes.
There might be some other things some other information that we're not privy to that was said.
Yes.
But just not that might help us to understand things a little bit better. But it done gone, and nothing we could do about it. If there's something else that can come up from that story, then we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Have you been paying attention to the Prime Minister's last presentation on the issue of the cost of school repair increased tremendously? Have you paid attention to that?
I saw it, but I didn't go into it with much but I fine tooth comb now.
Yes. So when you hear school was estimated to cost $12 million and it is now costing $20 more million, you don't think something is wrong there?
Why? The question is why? Why is the cost going up? And it's not to say, it's not to imply any sort of hanky-panky, but what year or what period? That's why I said I didn't really look at the story in much detail. But with time, the cost of things will go up though. You set out a price and estimate at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, something drastically happens to change the price of eggs, and the cost will go up sometimes exponentially. I mean, we've seen it with the acute referral hospital when they had to go back and look for more money
Yes, yes. Well, I like I said, I haven't paid much details to the issue, but from 12 million to 30 million is a lot of money. From 6 million to 10 million is a lot of money. I don't know if the person who was estimating didn't do a proper job and how the prime minister should respond to those persons who do those estimates, because he has to go back to the CDB for money to conclude these repairs, and some of the repairs for the school are going up to at least 2 years. So I don't know. I would like to hear him
Yeah.
the issue of the estimate and who did the estimate, and why we see so much sizable increase in the repairs of schools that is slated to be done this year and next year. You know, that it's just a thought out there that have been. But I'm not hearing. I would like to challenge Cian Marshall to speak on that issue when he call him tomorrow. If you're here to do his commentary, I would like to hear what the research, let me emphasize, research officer, Mr. Augustine Foylan, when he comes in to do the shake-up. Are people looking for information? And not because they want to be malicious, but they just want to know if the information that they're hearing from the Prime Minister, the Minister, of everything in the issue of because remember you may no longer refer to him as Minister of Finance because that's not his portfolio, but he's the Minister of everything, and he's the Prime Minister for every square inch. Nothing get past the Prime Minister unless you don't want to pay attention. Okay, so that's I'm a bit
But
worried.
you do know that estimates are just that. They're not going to be spot on.
No, so
Um,
will it be guesstimate then?
no. I mean, you do an estimate to have an idea, but the
Mhm.
estimate is based on prices at a particular time. Now, it may be inflated to accommodate for a change in prices just a little bit, but it may not be able to accommodate all the things that may go wrong
So
with a project.
so you're saying to me
I'm just
today,
speaking generally, though.
yeah, you're saying to me today they said that the port in Kingston will cost $600 million. So Christal is suggesting it might end up $750 million because things are increasing right wrong. Okay, right. So yeah.
I never said port, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to put into the equation because they tell us
You do this a lot. I say one thing and then you say something else, you put in what you want to say, and then you continue. I am making a general statement.
okay. I thought you were just defending. Okay, right. All right.
I'm not I'm saying generally, those are some of the reasons why the final cost for some things exceed the estimated cost. Look at the I mean you could even bring that in with time some of these projects are completed. They will have an estimated time
Yeah, somebody
of
we have a call.
2020. A call coming in? All right, cool.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, Christal. Christal, I missed you this morning.
Morning.
I hope all is well.
Yes, sir.
Christal, I'm glad you publicly admitted that Kingsley would usually dishonestly twist and do whatever you want with what you say, even throwing in things you didn't say. And it's not about good. Sometimes it goes beyond now just goodwill and controversy. It borders on the dishonest because you didn't say it. He knows you didn't say it, but he will throw something in to get a particular type of response and so on. And it's sometimes when we're in radio, it's more than just the calls and the likes and so on. We have to understand that we have a responsibility to inform properly and educate our listeners. It's not about getting 20 calls and people say, no, why are you controversial? I like what no, because you actually actively and willfully mislead people. Now, Kingsley, you're saying you want to know about the increase. I am confident that if Dr. Gonzalez or any of the officials in his government comes out and tells you about an increase, whatever the amount, they're going to give you the reason. So how is it you've heard of the increase but not of a reason?
But I heard of the increase, but I don't know. I don't have it. I don't
Where?
have any detail.
Where? From whom?
I have heard an increase on the media, the electric media, and the print
Have you
media.
heard Dr. Gonzalez, anybody from the Ministry of Finance and so on, say that the school has been increased from 12 to 30 million? Or are you talking about comments that you heard on radio?
No. There is something.
And so you want me
No, I'm answering
to
you.
call and respond to comments?
No,
Because
but
you like comments. You want me to call and respond to comments?
see, and there's a need for somebody to respond to the allegation that
So what?
surrounded it.
Hold on. If Commerce court and say Kingsley thief, you have to come and ready and explain that you ain't thief because some people have started commerce.
You're mixing oranges with apples here.
No, I'm not. Because my thing is, if the government, when, as Christal rightly said, and thank you very much, Christal, on the issue of the Equity Foreign Hospital, on the issue of the port, the Prime Minister and so on came out and said, we since the initial assessment and so forth, costs have gone up. This is the new cost. This is why. This is where we're going to get the money every single time. That's the level of transparency and openness that our government is being run with. If there's an issue, it comes to the public. The Prime Minister comes to the public. If there's an issue, the information is put out there with explanation. And so I am confident that if Dr. Gonzalez or any official from the Ministry of Finance or any other minister comes and says that the cost of a school being constructed has been increased from 12 million to 32 million, they will tell you why. The fact that you come in here to talk about you here and you don't know why, it's clearly because you want to commerce.
So people that are allowed to have inquiries mind and
that
can?
is not and that is not why, that is not the purpose of Jules Williams' credible station.
Let me ask you something now. So people shouldn't have inquiry minds?
About what, Kingsley?
That things are happening in Simmons and Grange.
And what is happening in Kingsley?
So let me ask you something. There's no...
No. What is happening in Kingsley? Let us develop what we're talking about. What is happening? What do you know to be happening?
So are you saying to me that there's...
No. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking you what is happening that you're inquiring about.
I'm inquiring if there is any increase on the construction and the money is allocated to repair schools in Simmons and Grange.
Well, that's not what I heard, first of all. What I heard was about school going from 12 million to 32 million.
So you don't hear that neither?
Where did I'm hearing it from you?
Okay.
I heard it from Hot 97. Someone sent me a clip on Hot 97.
Yeah, well, I don't listen to Hot 97, so I wasn't really talking about.
But you now Hot 97 running government. So if Hot 97, if the guys on Hot 97 pull a number out of their hat, that becomes fact, that becomes news, that becomes something that's worthy of defense. A friend of mine did some repairs on his house last year. And when he got the initial estimate, he went to the bank, he got the money. A few months later, when he came to do the repairs, it had gone up by 60%. No. People doing construction, contractors, people building houses would tell you that. Man, listen, prices going up. But apparently, if the government is doing any construction, it is impossible, unheard of, unthinkable for the prices to move, because somehow government controls the prices of materials across the world. But the truth is, Kingsley, and I think this is really the point I want to make. The truth and the point is that we have to be serious about what we're doing when we get on radio to inform people. You can have an inquiry in mind. You can question anything at all. But at the end of the day, you have to know what you're asking questions about. And the information you presented, I have absolute doubt, and I'm sure you would agree, that whatever estimate was done for a school, for any building, a year or so ago, a year and a half ago, would not be the same today. It will be significantly increased because prices have gone up around the world. Every single country in the world, the issue that they're dealing with today is the significant increase in prices and inflation. Everywhere.
So you're saying to the listeners, we must all remind ourselves that there will be cost overrun.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that to the listeners at all.
No, I'm asking if I should come to the conclusion.
Well, no, you can conclude. You're free to conclude what you want, Kingsley.
Okay.
But what I said was clear, that any project, building project, whether in the private sector, domestic, government sector, where an estimate was done even 6 months ago, the cost, if it comes today, would not be the same because there continues to be significant increases in prices globally. And especially with the way we import all of these materials, it would affect the eventual price. So that in the same way, as I said, we know that the government had to increase the amount for the port by millions. In the same way, the government has to increase the amount for the acute referral hospital. It's the same with anything being constructed, whether it's a school, a polyclinic, or what have you. If the estimate was done, the parliament and so forth, I expect fully that the estimates of 2 years ago, when these things were first announced and designed, would not be the same today. And I think that's logical. But if individuals want to listen to comments and gossip and run with things being spread by the uninformed or misinformed, then that's a matter for them. But I would continue to bring the information that I have. The Prime Minister would continue. He was on radio Sunday. He was on radio this morning. He would continue to speak to the nation directly. And I do hope that individuals are listening to the proper source of information as opposed to those with agendas who feel that their job is to spin and dirty up and soil up and mix up information to try and confuse people. I ain't a part of that, Cody. Have a good day, buddy.
Thanks for calling, brother. You know, it's amazing that Sian. Christal, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, good to know. It's amazing that he said, well, he always referred to me as dishonest. I don't know why dishonest about. Sian, you must use this is from using a word, okay? All right, okay. You say I should have an inquiry in mind. Okay? He said that I shouldn't make an inquiry. But he went into details about estimates are just guesstimate and things are increasing and he's justifying the rumor mill that he said started elsewhere. So you shouldn't make any comments. Whatever Sian said, Sian right. Leave it right there. Yeah. Christal, any comments? Any comment? And we have another caller though. Let's go into this.
I don't think he said estimate is a guesstimate though. But continue.
Yeah, use your interpretation. Morning.
Kingsley, morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you doing? Hi, Christal.
Hi, good morning.
You're running to the program from far. I hope you're not running far from the program, Christal.
No.
Kingsley, you know, sometimes it's best if we take time to inform the listener rather than what we do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I am of the view that you were misinformed with respect to the school that it is now being said in the. I listened to the Prime Minister on Sunday,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know that the Prime Minister could come to the public in St. Vincent and say a school has increased from $12 million to $32 million. How can the Prime Minister do that? We have not had any school built in this country thus far that cost more than $20 million as far as ever, I think.
Yes.
Maybe except for the community college, which was done in several phases. I think the most expensive school that was built is a school in your area, Kingsley.
Yes.
And it was certainly less than $20 million.
Yes. So where the rumor started, Mr. Weeks? You have any idea?
Well, it seems it's a publication, an online publication.
Oh, okay.
That's in the public. I think that's where you got the information this morning. Somebody reading from an article that was published that gave that information.
Yeah.
What is happening from my and let me know when the time is ended because I don't want to go over your time. But the information I heard from the Prime Minister.
You have until 9:45, don't worry.
Okay. The information I heard from the Prime Minister is that there was an estimate to do some work on a school in Sandy Bay. Since the eruption of the Soufriere, a decision was made to move the school from Sandy Bay to Orange Hill. I know the Prime Minister was quite happy to make that decision because he's going to place a school where once a estate house used to be. You know what an estate house is?
Yeah, of course I know the estate house.
That used to be in the pinnacle of a estate, on the top of a hill, looking down on the rest of the estate.
Yes.
So the Prime Minister is going to the government is going to put a school there, a new school that is going to be constructed. And therefore the cost must go up. But I didn't hear the Prime Minister say that it is going up by $20 million. The impression I got is that the budget for the schools make up by around $20 million for schools. Repair and renovation make up by about $20 million, not for one school. But you see, the thing in this country now, Kingsley, I was around towards the end of the NDP government. And I see some of the same things that took place then happening all over again. A lot of arrogance. People feel that they can't come and speak to the public and give the public information. There's a lot of fight for turf. And there's a matter that I am so concerned about with respect to the public information coming from the government at this point in time.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister himself does a significant job in bringing the information from his government to the public. And one of the main medium that he uses to do that is WEFM on a program that was there for about 25 years.
Yes, it's your time.
And you have persons working with the state who are trying to pretend that that program does not exist. Persons who are trained and should know better than I that when you take your information from a source, you must give full credit to that source.
I agree with you.
And they will have the major newscast. And in that newscast, you will hear Prime Minister Gonzalez speaking on radio this week. I don't know which radio he was speaking on.
Exactly. Let me say a special good morning to Sean Rose, okay, from the API.
And right in that same newscast, you would hear Prime Minister Holness speaking on RJR, whatever the name of the program.
Yes.
And whatever time he was speaking. Right after saying that our Prime Minister was speaking on radio this week, you know. And you know what? Prime Minister tolerate that. The radio station that gave the Prime Minister such an opportunity to bring the information from his government to the public, the radio station tolerates that as well. If I had anything to do with the ownership of the radio station and the management of that program, I will ban the Prime Minister from my program. Because it is disrespectful. Yeah. I know, and you know, Kingsley, the quality of the man that we have as a Prime Minister.
Definitely.
And he will only complete his hand if he feels, if he knows that it is effective.
Yes.
And I believe it's one of the most effective medium that the Prime Minister is using right now to communicate to the nation and to the world. This Your Time program. And there are persons in his government who at one time refused to put on the news anything the Prime Minister said on that program.
Yes.
There was a blanket on that program. And I believe he may have spoken to them after certain people brought it to his attention. And they reverted back to the Prime Minister speaking on radio this week.
Yes.
I made a point that I was around. I was involved with NDC at the time when the NDP was during the last days, and I see some of the same things happening again, where the management of NDC put the workers against the radio station and against the government effectively, even though some of the staff members were very great, good supporters of the then government. The same thing is happening all over again. But in terms of crime, you had a very good program this morning, Kingsley. One thing that you didn't tell about the great crime that's perpetrating in this country. And they're interfering with justice by tampering with evidence.
Yes, I heard the commissioner say that this
Did you hear that, Kingsley?
Yes, I heard him. I heard the commissioner.
Rats are tampering with evidence in this country.
Yes,
At the time.
Yes, I was wondering if the commissioner could have singled out some of the rats because they come in human form sometime, eh?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're tampering it, you're playing with justice. So we need to arrest the rats and charge them.
Yes, I found this strange that he made that statement. I was wondering if you think it's a good statement he made, and I guess it will be played back as well because people can turn it into what it was, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, the matter with the schools, there's a lot of clearing up that has to be done with respect to the information that is in the public now. What we have to determine whether or not we want to make a major investment in education in this country at this time in our life, whether we want to spend 60, 100, $200 million on education as an investment going forward, or whether we want to maintain the status quo.
They indicating to me that you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yes, thanks, Kingsley. Finally, I would say, if you go around the country, Kingsley, you would see a number of bridges that look the same. And the reason for that is that many years ago when Joshua led the government, Joshua had a program to rebuild bridges across St. Vincent. And if you look at their design, some of them have been taken down since then, since this government is in office. But when you were growing up, and you would have seen a number of these bridges look the same. In time to come, if the Prime Minister carries on with his program of investing in education and investing in education infrastructure, we will see schools in this country that are of a certain quality. We will have the debt to be repaid. At this point, we have to determine whether or not that is something we want to do.
Okay, sir.
Thanks, Kingsley.
Right, thank you. Yeah. It's 40 minutes on to 10. Christal, time for you to wrap up, girl.
Me? No, you.
No, I have the final say this morning, not you.
Oh, okay. I think there's so much more that can be said about these things in terms of projects, estimates, and how you go about dealing with issues that arise from things that come up with projects. So that's all I got to say this morning, man.
Right, thank you for coming this morning, and see you tomorrow morning right here at WEFM. Yes. Well,
All right, take care.
Yeah, it's time for me to take my 2 step out there and get out there. You see, still call them what I call shaker program because you'll get the clarity from the research officer when he comes into the shaker program. See you all next week. See you all Friday morning. I'm going to have today some lime squash and some cake for my birthday. Yeah.
9:47 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At this time, we take a look at WEFM's Community Dateline, coming to you with the kind compliments of WEFM.